No, when I got my draft notice, I wanted a good place to sleep and 3 square meals a day, so I joined the Navy.
Oh.
And I joined in Minneapolis, and they sent me to Great Lakes Naval Training Station in Wisconsin for boot camp. I was at 22 at the time. Yeah, this is my hometown forever. I was born here, raised here, still here now.
Okay.
Well, boot camp you always remember because the first thing you go into a great big gymnasium with 400 or 500 other guys, all sit on a certain number, then strip all your clothes naked. And that's how you start. Then they give you all kinds of shots and that, and cut your hair down to, military. And then you put your old clothes in a box to send home, and then they go through and get all your military stuff.
Yeah.
That was the first day. Well, it was a very short boot camp. It was only 3 weeks. Because they needed men. They needed bodies. And one of the reasons at that particular time, one of the Japanese submarines threw a few shells into Oregon, and everybody panicked, and all the guns we had at Great Lakes, they shipped them over to Oregon. And they thought there might be an invasion.
Oh.
They got panicky. So the training only lasted 3 weeks. And then they sent me to 16 weeks of training of a specialty. They take you go through a testing to see what you might be qualified for, and then they send you to those schools. World War II, 1942 to 1945. Well, my first ship was an old World War I. It was a combination troop ship and a hospital ship. Yeah, I got it out of Seattle, Washington, and at that time the invasion of the Attu, they were going to invade Attu and Kiska. It was originally, that's on the chain of the Alaska all the way out to, and originally we had a weather station there. Then Japanese come in, and we didn't have any way to defend it, and they took it back. And they took several of the islands back that we owned originally. And then when I joined, in that particular time, we went to take it back from them. And there was the Battle of Attu was one of the big Japanese holdings there. So we took a whole loads of troops up there and dropped them off. And I spent 3-4 months doing that back and forth from Seattle there, taking troops back and bringing back the wounded. We had a lot of wounded guys because the weather up there was really terrible. And the poor Army guys would dig a foxhole and it would fill with water, and then coming back with the injured guys, most of them were for frozen extremities, their feet are. And we had a regular operating rooms on the ship. Well, then when we got through with that, they wanted to make that ship into a full hospital ship. So we took it down through the Panama Canal, took it all the way up to Boston, or they're going to make it into a big house. And then we decommissioned it, and we got 30 days leave. Then I went back to, I wanted to go to the European theater, and so I picked, you could pick any place you wanted to pick, to turn in after your, and so I went to Philadelphia because I wanted to go to the Atlantic area. But they sent me down to Jacksonville, Florida, where they're building a new ship. It was a seagoing tug, what they were. It was big, if you think of a thing. It was a big, this is a kind of it. The duties of that ship was a pull landing craft when they took troops in and to get, the high tide, they couldn't get back out. Our job was to pull them back out. We did a lot of escort duty, and we had a 2-inch gun and a 240 millimeters, 220 millimeters. And we did a lot of escort duties, and we did different campaigns. In Guam, we were involved in the invasion of Guam, and mostly in the Philippines. When MacArthur landed in the Philippines, we were in that invasion. And we stayed there 47 days in that Lady Gulf, when it was the biggest battle of ever in the Pacific. That's generally the outline. We shot down 5 Japanese planes with our little. We've seen a lot of kamikazes. You've heard of kamikazes?
Yeah.
Where they commit suicide by crashing into the ships.
Yeah.
But they picked the big ships.
Oh.
So we were pretty safe because they're not going to waste their life in a plane on a little ship. So they picked the aircraft carriers and the bigger battleships. So we saw a lot of that kamikazes in that. Just feeling sorry for the Army guys.
Yeah.
We delivered them, they had to do all the fighting.
Oh.
They had to do the dying.
Yeah.
At that particular, later on, we lost more men in the Navy when the kamikazes started late in the war.
Yeah.
Then we lost lots of Navy guys because, several carriers are destroyed and others shot, but all of them, a carrier's got 3,000 men on it,
Yeah.
and same as a battleship, got 2,000 men. So it is, a lot. Well, I'm the youngest of 9 kids.
Oh.
So during the service, I got lots of letters.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
And I got married when I was at boot camp. So my wife, who I married, wrote me every day. But it was hard for the mail to keep up with us. We'd be going one direction and our mail would be going the other. One time I got almost 100 letters, and one time when the mail finally caught up with. Yeah, I had a lot of good support. Good.
It was good? All right.
Yeah, they fed us good.
That's good.
Not knowing when the war was going to end, and you're out on deck and at night and stormy weather, you wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Then you're stressed, pretty stressful. And at the time, it looked like it'd last forever. My dad owned a little plumbing company, and my brothers worked with him. They were all my 2 or 3 of my other. And when I got back from the service, I was going to be a plumber too. And my brothers beat me back, and at that time, there's lots of work. There's no material. Nobody made plumbing stuff, and
Yeah.
so one of my brothers was a sheep salesman, sheep buyer for Armour County. So he got me a job down in the stockyards. So I spent 47 years down in the stockyards. That's right. I was a calf buyer. I bought calves for Armour. And then in 1950, I quit them and worked for a sales. I went on the other side of the fence. I wasn't a buyer, I was a seller.
Yeah.
So I worked for them for 34 years till I retired.